Hello and welcome to the Steve Calis Show. I'm Steve Calis and I'm joined, as usual, by producer George.
Hello.
Gee, how you doing?
I'm very good, thank you.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, good to see you, mate. Yeah, very
thank
good.
you. Yeah, I'm here.
I'm also joined by Kevin Harris. Kevin, what up?
Thank you for the whole name there.
That's okay. Well, it's funny you say that, because today's episode is a well-planned, well-thought-out episode. It's N for names. Before the episode starts, I just want to say thank you to our sponsors, Graham's Windows and Doors at grahamswindowsanddoors.co.uk, Yeovil's very best provider of windows, doors and conservatories. Thank you, James. Thank you, Sherelle. We really appreciate your support. Thanks also to Paramount Prizes. Paramount Prizes are a local online competition website and one of the best in the country. Go to paramountprizes.co.uk and grab yourself a bargain. That's paramountprizes.co.uk. Now, on with the show. So yes, here we are. We're back. The Steve Calis Show. We are on a journey through the... You're both looking as if I'm talking to someone. Or are you gymming the camera?
Yeah, I'm trying to gym the camera. Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
You're trying to connect with the audience.
Yes.
That's my
Yeah,
bad. My
we're
apologies.
trying.
You're making me paranoid that someone's over there.
Well, no, you are staring very intently, so every now and then you're like,
Am I?
is there?
Oh, sorry. No, there's no one over there. But okay, I'll go. Yeah, continue to gym the camera. Good work. Today is N for names. We're spiraling through the alphabet with each letter corresponding to some aspect of the human condition. Is that an exciting way to describe what we've been up to so far on the journey?
It was very well done.
Yeah, it's excellent. Thank you very much. And today is N for names. But first, let's have a little catch up, because it's been a wild few weeks for all of us. Kevin, a couple of Saturdays ago, you and I embarked on an all-dayer. We teased this in our last episode of Lissy, because we told people we were going to go to a 4 p.m. Nightclub.
Which we did.
Event. Of course we did. So how did you find it went in all in all?
Pretty well. It
I enjoyed it. It was good,
lovely
wasn't it?
weather. Spoon's Beer Garden wasn't the worst place I've ever been in my life.
Oh, it was great, wasn't it? It was really good.
That's pretty good. And leaving a nightclub in the daylight when it's not the next morning is surreal.
What nightclub did you go to?
Neo.
Went to Neo, baby.
Oh,
And
They
for
didn't.
Neo.
Neo did an over 30s like nightclub, like disco.
oh my
essentially.
God.
And it was heaving.
Oh,
Oh, it's
My
busy.
favourite bit the next day was obviously when someone posted on Yeovil Rural News inquiry as to the health of the rather drunken lady who fell off the podium and KO'd herself.
wow. Good effort.
Yeah, it was
Bravo.
me.
I was going to say anyone we know.
Bravo, 30-year-olds plus of Yeovil, you kicked ass.
Yeah, and that's a lot of 30-year-olds' experience with doing it, and glad to be back out on the scene. It was great. I want to pause right here and take a minute to appreciate Yeovil Weatherspoons. Their fucking prices, the quality of the food and drink, the new like smoking area, the outside bit they've just built. Hate on spoons all you want, but it's good, isn't it? It's really good.
There was one point where we all had a bit of space and table service coming out at a decent pace. And then Jake said, that took a long time. And I walked back through to go to the toilet and I was like, oh, that's why. It was absolutely heated.
Oh, really?
Obviously, it was busy anyway. I'm not sure why people take their kids to a pub in the daytime on Saturday, but
Well, I mean, Spoons is a family-friendly environment.
yeah.
It's a nice mix
you
of
lot,
like, it's a nice mix of like, there's families enjoying themselves, and there's people who gambled their lives away 15 years ago and never quite pulled themselves out. But you know what? It's homely.
I've always thought Spoons was all right. It was just the Yeovil one that wasn't that nice. You go to the one in Wells, and it's lovely.
Yeah,
The one in Street,
the one in Edinburgh, it used to be a bank. So there's lots of stuff still left there from it.
you still get that Spoons vibe in all of them. But
Oh,
it was
yeah,
the
yeah,
Yeovil
yeah.
one in
You can
particular.
always tell when it's the Spoons if you've not already sort of noticed. Is when you go to the toilet and it takes you 3 hours.
Oh, mate, Weatherspoons.
Little adventure.
Yeah, that's right. But Weatherspoons, wherever they are in the country, is a cultural mirror reflecting the town back at itself.
Yes, I
You
would
know what
say
mean?
so, yeah.
It's like a...
That's
it
a
is
damning indictment.
It is, yeah. And the other one is, in some corners rough and unusual, but in some corners there's some lovely families, but everyone's having a good time with a great sense of humour. That's Yeovil, baby. That's what Yeovil really is.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, really good all day. We didn't last too long at the over 30 things. We sort of absconded to go to a barbecue, didn't we?
Yeah, you were strutting your stuff, and then
I was showing my stuff.
yeah,
I could see
and
that.
then
Ooh,
obviously
yeah.
we were invited to Bobby's, and our friend appeared like a mysterious cab in there.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
say a cab in the night, but it was really fucking sunny when we were
It's the middle of the day.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But we had, Josh came to pick us up. Our friend Josh White come to pick us up in his big truck to take us to Bobby's barbecue.
Yeah.
But I was very unwell by this point. It's been a long day of drinking.
You were
And,
fine until you got outside.
Well, yeah. What was
Oh,
the
that
car? It was
classic.
the motion of the car. My brain started telling me, "Oh, we're trapped here forever, and I need to shit myself, and I'm going to be sick." So I had to focus up like David Goggins, like fucking Bear Grylls.
We had
survival.
that when you got your tattoo. Do you
That's
remember?
right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just cars.
Yeah.
But I had to fucking hone down on survival. Okay, well, got a bit of water here. So I do engage with them. Open the window. You know what I mean?
Where does
And I
Bobby
survived
live?
it.
Not Mudford.
Yeah,
Right.
3 minutes
Like,
on the road.
Literally 3 minutes up the road. You would think we went 15 miles. We did not.
It was not just
We were in the shop purchasing alcohol longer than we were travelling.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But you would think from that retailing
Yeah.
that we did some miles.
I like to take a story, dial it up to 11. So what?
He also then did. There is a picture of it as well. Obviously, Bob's got the big sort of corner sofa style furniture out the back.
Yes,
Everyone's out there
this is
talking.
regrettable.
Steve came to at this point and decided to cross legs Ganji style, and I don't know really what happened.
I
next.
sat. I'm surprised you remember anything about this. Because I looked over at you and I thought, oh my God, Kev's not really here with us, but somehow he's still chatting the fucking ears off the girls there.
Oh, fuck.
And it was real
Great.
But I went to our mate's barbecue and I sat cross-legged on a chair out there, and there's a photo of me lecturing everybody about Jesus.
I
But
can
sat
see that.
cross-legged like Buddha. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
okay.
And that next day I was like, why does that happen to me? Why do I keep doing
Classic
that?
Steve.
I'm just,
So
yeah.
excited about it as well.
But drunk
no one
me
else
just-
was, but he was so excited
Yeah,
about it.
there's no better advocate for religion than drunk me. You know what I mean? For Jesus as a human being. Yeah, very strange behaviour.
Other than that, yeah, all good.
Yeah, it's great.
Religion aside, it was great.
Yeah, it's good. I really enjoyed it. So, next, let's dive into the topic, okay? George,
Yes.
I want to hear first, we're going to get into awful names that shouldn't be names, but I want to hear good names. What's the name? If someone says, oh, this is my mate, such and such, you go,
Okay.
that's going to be a solid fella.
Okay, shout out to the guy that I went to school with. If he listens to this podcast, I like to think we were friends, and he wouldn't mind me putting this on. I haven't
yeah,
spoken
go
to him
on.
for about 15 years.
Give us the goods.
But his name is Fingal Bleasdale.
Yeah, that's
What a
shame.
name.
That's a shame.
No, it's a
That's a shame.
strong name. It's a strong name. Fingal Bleasdale.
I assume you just called him Finn.
No, we called him Fingal.
Fingal.
Yeah.
Fingal Bleasdale.
Yep, that's a real name.
Fingal, what is
Shout out to Fingal.
Yeah, I don't know if we should be shouting out Fingal, because I'm about to sort of criticise him probably. Fingal,
Oh.
Fingal Bleasdale.
Fingal Bleasdale.
And I assume that, it comes from a family of Bleasdales.
I assume so, yes.
I wonder what names are in his family.
I couldn't tell you. He had a lot of sisters, if I remember rightly, so maybe they all had all
Also
all
adventurous names.
Yes.
Yeah. Fingal Bleasdale sounds like somewhere you'd go in like a fantasy land, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what I like it
Come on
sounds like.
down and get 3 coppers.
And there was
Good.
also a lesser so, but not another person I went to school with. Shout out, Fergus Nunnally.
That's
Yeah,
solid. That's
yeah,
solid.
yeah.
Yeah,
Fergus.
Fergus Nunnally.
Haven't spoken to Fergus for many years, so apologies if you don't want your name on the internet.
Yeah, that sounds like a verb. Like, this Saturday I drank too much. And
Yeah.
and I felt a bit sort of Fergus Nunnally on the way home. I walked home Fergus Nunnally. I fucking got a taxi and was shit myself Fergus Nunnally.
Yeah,
So that's it. Yeah,
I'm sure he'd
sorry.
appreciate this conversation in this context of his name.
Yeah, that's a much more solid one than Bingle Fleasby. Tisdale Mulberry. What's his name?
Fingal Bleasdale.
Fingal Bleed.
Yeah,
No, it isn't.
it is. That's his real name.
Oh, this is
Oh,
right in the middle of
listener. Carry on.
right in the middle. It's definitely an agriculture school you went to, wasn't it? It's
It
very,
was,
very
yes.
countryside.
Yeah.
Can confirm.
What's Albert Nunnery? What's his name?
Fergus Nunnally.
Fergus Nunnally.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I guess I'm going to try and store that because I like that as a doing word. I like that as a
Yeah, okay.
Kevin, names that. So this is good names. When you talk to someone, they say such and such is my friend. And it's a solid name.
Hugo.
Oh.
Yeah, nice,
okay.
nice. Hugo's solid. Sometimes it depends on the surname. If it's Hugo
Yeah.
and it's a common surname, like a regular Joe surname, that's good, solid. But if it's Hugo, Queensbury or something, and you go, oh, here comes Hugo.
Or Nunnally, or Bleasdale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and these made up
If
names.
you want weird, like the The weirdest sounding name I know of on a famous person is M. Night Shyamalan.
That's it, yeah.
That's not your name.
Sounds like it's
Your name's Marcus, isn't it?
yeah, it sounds like his
Marcus
parents are like
Shamrock or something.
a
stupid.
stutter. Do you know what I mean? Like, so what we're going to name the kid? Oh, Shamble. And just write it down. It's just like syllables thrown at a wall, isn't it? But yeah, that's a good one. For me, like a good solid name is like Mike. John.
Right. Okay, we're talking like
You know what I mean?
manly men.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Kevin.
Kevin's very solid, very solid. Yeah, Mike, John, Kev.
I know 1,000 Steves. Actually.
Yeah, but that's the problem with it. You know what I mean, I like the name Steve. It's solid, but it's way too common. Way too common for my taste. I like to be alternative and different. And I'm Steve. You know what I mean? Yeah, I really don't like that. That's why I changed my surname to something unique and new. Steve Calis. So it adds a little sexy element to it at the end. What about names that we don't like? When you hear a name, you go, ooh, you know what I mean?
Keith.
100%.
Yeah.
Keith's dying out. Keith's
Good.
Maybe imagine baby Keith now.
Yeah.
Disaster for the kid,
Imagine having a child and saying, "It's Keith."
Well,
It's
we'll
Keith.
get
It's
to
gotta
that
be.
after this one. So, Nigel.
Oh, yeah. Again, a baby Nigel would be a travesty, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Horrific.
Nigel.
Boys, Nigel and Keith. Well, he's 60.
So
Barry.
Based on your one, then, what names are going to disappear?
Ian.
Oh, my brother will be sad.
Yep. Yeah, unless he starts quickly producing more
No,
Ians.
he has no intention of ever.
See, that's what I mean. Not even Ians are trying to propagate more Ians. You mean, and they're the people who need to be fighting for it the hardest. And otherwise, yeah, Ian's going to go, Keith. But women's names are easier. Margaret, you know what I mean? Ethel.
Although those names are coming back, aren't they?
Are they?
They do. Like, there's a resurgence of, I want to say, 50s.
Yeah, that sort of time. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's
I have a list of baby names on my phone just in case I have children. I'm not going to read them out. But
I'd like to point out, you
yeah,
can
I know.
have them.
Tick list.
It's a lovely idea. You can suggest them. That's as far as you're getting.
If
with
I
that.
have a girl,
George, my son is named after Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, okay.
Don't listen to Kev,
Yeah.
all right? I named my son Leo after Leonardo da Vinci. That was my choice. The only part I couldn't get was the whole Leonardo.
yeah,
All right,
weird.
we compromised on Leo.
they win somehow.
Yeah, I will
And even
not
if you want
compromise
to
if I
win,
have a girl.
when you witness the birth happen, you're like, do you know what? Call them out wherever you.
Good, whatever you like, sweetheart. You did a good job there.
Yeah, fair.
So sorry, George. Go on. What were you saying? This is so. What's on your creepy list of baby names? You keep
So
on your phone?
the top name, if I have a girl, will always be Arabella.
Oh.
Will always be. I don't know why, but it will just always be. I quite like a name that would be shortened to something that's quite.
So Arab, you want your kid to be called Arab?
Yeah,
Yes.
it also sounds like that thing dangling at the back of your throat. That sounds like the Arabella. I mean, I've got a swollen Arabella.
Oh yeah, a youth.
Yeah. If you told me that's called the Arabella,
Yeah.
if you would say to me, "Oh God, when doctors were infected, I had an infected Arabella," I go, "Jesus, that sounds terrible."
I like a name that would normally be shortened, and I would never shorten it.
Can you imagine that?
So a lot of people
His
call him
neighbours-
Bella.
Ari.
Arabella.
What about for boy?
George.
What's my top boy name? Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold
if
the
you
line.
quickly consult the creepy list of children's names you have
Yeah,
on
that
your phone,
you've kept for
right,
years.
which looks like a
Dun, dun, dun.
checklist.
I think it's quite nice for a bloke.
No good for you trying to get security clearance.
I think it's nice for a bloke to think about this sort of thing. Kiba. It's Japanese for fang.
Oh right, I thought you stuttered about it.
That's a boy.
I'm glad you added the raw. That made it much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not really sold on this, and then you did a
No.
pervy raw. And I
Yeah,
thought,
yeah.
hello.
Yeah, that's what I
You
want
get
my
it
kid
now.
to be called.
That's very sort of like Lion King-y, isn't it? Kiba.
Well, yeah, or Naruto if you've ever seen it, because one of the characters is called Kiba.
Ah, nice. That's a
for
good
the
name.
future Mrs.
Yeah.
George. That's why it's not called
Yeah,
Kiba.
unlucky.
Yeah. Oh yeah, future Mrs. George.
Well, she'll never know.
When you pitch, she'll never know.
I'll
She
just
might
say
be a
it's-
fan.
When
She's gonna know.
when you kidnap your to add to the list of children you've already kidnapped and checked off your list, your own son, she won't know why you name him.
I'll just say, oh, it's a cool Japanese name. She'll never know that it's from a cartoon.
Oh man, I tried to do that with Aragorn. You know what I mean? It's just you're not getting.
I feel like that one's a bit more.
It's too many syllables. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can say, but he looks like this. That would have won it.
Yeah, but that's the reason I wanted it in the first place. I assume that's what I was trying to mould. But that's good. That's good. I say bad names. If someone says to me, "It's my mate," and the name drops, Mitchell is one.
Ooh,
Mitchell.
yeah, okay.
I think of bad breath. I think of short. Mitchell.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
All right.
A good name is Greg. That just popped to mind.
Ooh.
Greg's solid.
Oh, I'm not a fan of Greg.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not a
well,
big
that's
fan of
interesting.
Greg.
What's
Sorry,
beef with
Greg.
What's your beef with Greg?
I just too many G's.
What's your
I've got
name,
quite a lot
Greg?
of G's.
It's where you buy food,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right.
which in Cardiff, it turns out, is everywhere.
Of course it is.
There was one, like,
Solid town,
as
Cardiff.
we were trying to base, as we walk around at the weekend, it's like, have we been here? Because every other street, there's another one.
Oh, I
They're
see.
like a pasty, apparently.
Good. Solid people, the Welsh. If I think of like a beautiful name, I always like something like, it's very common now, but I always like Grace. But that's very common. That's like always, that's everyone's first or middle name now, isn't it? Grace.
My sisters picked her very different names for her children. So the oldest daughter is Euphemia, who we just called Effie. There's Marceline, Marcy, and her son is called Kip, which is a weird name, but it's actually K for me, I for my brother, and P for Tom's brother.
That's nice.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. If I did that for me and my brothers, my son would be called
A wobble.
Susaga, which is much less good. So let's put this out to the audience as well, because I want the audience to respond to this in the comments. I want to kickstart the Spotify comment section, okay, for the algorithm's
There's
sake.
nowhere worse, and it is one of my favourite Key and Peele, was it? The comedians in America?
Yeah.
Where they do the American footballers, where they line up and they say, "My name's Deshaun
Oh
Watson,"
my God.
but they just
Lord.
they go crazy. But I've actually watched the
Yeah,
Final
yeah.
Four and whatever. And you're like, they're not far off.
Yeah.
Dontavius Jackson.
Yeah.
Like, really.
That's solid.
Or Ladasha was my favourite one, but it's actually this school teacher is spelled L-A line A.
Oh.
Ladasha.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
They've actually
Christ.
used a dash
Yeah.
rather than spelling Ladasha. It's just L-E dash A.
Oh, I see.
Very unique.
I've always been spoiled in my mind for some reason, because I've got close association. Words have to, are annoyingly associated with things in my brain that ruin them. They're sort of corruptible.
Yeah,
easily,
I have
words.
that. Yeah.
But Alexander should be a powerful, all-conquering, earth-spanning name. But it's just turned into sort of, there's Alexander. I've got a cough. You know what I mean? It's just, that's weakness.
The most ruined name for anyone is Tim.
Or Adolf.
Oh, yes, yeah, okay. But in
Just
terms
a
of like
baby
a modern name that's been just slightly turned into something because you know what's going to happen. What's your name? Timmy. And you know what's happening.
Yeah.
Everywhere for the next, which is
Yeah.
brilliant.
Although, for a while at our previous workplace, McDonald's, there was a guy there called Tim, and I liked him. But whenever and he was a big fella. So whenever another big fella joined the company, I would call that person, say, not Tim. And then there was an Asian guy who I called Asian Tim. And he became, it was great. Nicknames are ace. And he became the blueprint for all other Tims. But again,
I had no part in this.
No, George was
as a manager.
Yeah,
George was
yeah.
frowning upon this and contacting HR on a regular basis.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Yes.
Big trouble. Okay, but is there anything else we want to go with names? Because names is
That
something
bit that you just did. One of the most important things I think for men is the nickname.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm very rarely called Kevin. More so, actually, as I've got older, I'm now called Kevin, but the entire childhood I was called H or Harris. My brother's the same.
Oh right.
My brother
yeah,
is still referred to as H because of football. and
Right.
whatnot.
Okay. Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you
I
joined the
see.
Navy. Someone shouted at my son-in-law. I can't remember what they called him, and I was like, "What's that?" He's like, "That's my nickname." And he explained it to me. It's because his surname means something, which is this. Three direct.
Yeah.
He's like, that was done week one,
Yeah.
and that's what I've been called
Yeah.
now for 10 years.
Oh, it's harsh, isn't it? Like, as you're a kid, you come to school, hungry because your mum's too poor to afford fucking lunch, and they'll call you, "Oh, look, there's poor boy. Oh, look, there's lunchy."
Yes.
It's like, kids are fucking harsh, aren't they?
Yeah.
We have no money. That didn't happen to me. I was always Doe. Like, my surname was Doherty. Doe. Oh, Doe.
Yeah.
Oh, Doe.
Which
yeah.
to this day, when everyone says Doey,
Yeah,
I don't know Doey.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying
Yeah.
to kill that guy, and people keep bringing him up. Yeah, nicknames are fucking ace. But I was going to do a whole sort of segment on nicknames, but there's other podcasts that have done that so much better and funny than we could do it, where you called in and viewers call in and let you know what their favourite nicknames.
Yeah,
And
okay, yeah.
oh wait, do you want? It's worth doing. Pass me a phone, please.
Who-
Bill,
what-
the favourite subgenre of
what do you
nicknames. Just the internet, mate, please. The best. This is worth waiting for, because the best subgenre of nicknames is building site nicknames.
Oh, yeah.
right, I can
Oh,
see
yes.
that,
Yeah.
An old electrician who didn't know any of the modern stuff. Jurassic Spark. Met a lad everyone called Painter Jack. I stupidly assumed he was a painter. Apparently he got the name for always wearing 2 coats.
Hey.
Oh, I see. Oh shit! That took a minute to get that one. That's funny.
That makes it even funnier.
So this is the subreddit Ireland as well. So these are Irish building site names.
I can see that being hilarious.
Apprentice on the site got called Dirty Harry, not because of his resemblance to Clint Eastwood, but because he couldn't make it to the loo one day, so he shit behind the staircase. Sly Bacon. They called him Sly Bacon because his surname was Cunningham. The guy named Boots because he was a drug dealer. That's good. I knew a guy we used to call Pharmacy for that same reason. Not that I would ever... Yeah, I didn't know him.
No.
I mean, he was a friend of a friend of a
friend.
friend of a friend of a friend.
Just lived
Yeah.
in Yeovil, didn't he? I remember.
So this mate. So do you like the security sensors called PIR sensors? Right there. That's what picks you up if you walk in and sets your alarm off.
Only work when the boss.
A new electrician called PIR because he only worked when someone walked past. That's very good. Scaffolder called Fonzie Bottles because he wore a leather jacket once and drank a bottle of beer in the pub. That's the best kind.
Yeah.
That's the best one.
30 years later, you're like,
Yeah. Did it one time.
yeah. Literally for 30 seconds, and one guy went, "Hey, Fonzie Balls."
Look at Fonzie Balls.
Men are dickheads, aren't they? It's amazing.
Worked with a guy called Disco Dave, thinking it was a mad raver or party animal, but no, he got the name because he was clueless, and all he said was, "Where the fuck does this go?" My mate's dad worked with a guy they called Dirty Petrol because he stuttered.
Fucking hell.
Worked with a bloke called Blister. Can anyone guess why?
No.
Because he only appeared after all the hard work was done. My mate Gaz is known as Pilot Light because he never goes out. That's a good one. Worked with someone everyone called Spot for a few years, but his name was David. I never asked why. I stumbled upon him on Facebook years later and a penny dropped. His name was David Whitehead. So I called him Spot. That's good.
So much.
Rex, a bloke I worked with who was born with short arms. Socket Man, an electrician that worked at our house, looked like Elton John. Had a cousin called Repeat because he was a spitting image of his father, Pete. Okay, right. We've mined that for all it's worth.
Yeah.
So this episode was a short, sweet, lovely one about names. So we have gone all the way through the alphabet so far. When's halfway through? How many have we done?
Well,
What's halfway through the
25,
alphabet?
so there isn't really.
So 12-ish.
12-ish.
13.
Yeah.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. We're well over halfway. Well over halfway through the alphabet, and we've learned a great deal. We've talked about anger and beauty and love, and we've all learned a little bit. We've learned more about each other. We've got closer as friends and co-hosts. We've learned more about you, the audience. Thank you for engaging with us. It's been a brilliant journey so far. So click follow, click subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, and let's continue on this quest. We're almost there. George, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to be back in here.
Yeah, it's good to have you back, mate. Kev, lovely to see you again.
Send us some shitty names.
Yes, please.
And any shitty nicknames. Love them.
Yes, please. I want to know the best names best names you know, the worst names, but more importantly, I want to know nicknames, funny nicknames that you've given people or that you know people have had. This has been the Steve Calis Show. I'm Steve Calis. Oh, and remember to check out our sponsors, Paramount Prizes and Graham's Windows and Doors. See you next time. Ciao, 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 ciao.
Paka, paka. Auf Wiedersehen.